Terry Butcher's return to fitness covers the absence of Phil Thompson. 4 changes then in all from the side that won in Greece, but Bobby Robson retaining the midfield personnel who served him so well in Salonika: Sammy Lee, Brian Robson and Gary Mabbott. Luxembourg, in contrast, can call on just 4 full-time professionals: Chico Roman, Guy Hellers and Carlo Weiss. They both play in France, and Benny Reiter, the number 10, earns his living in West Germany. The rest are receiving just £20 each for tonight's appearance, and that also compensates for loss of wages while they're away from their normal jobs. For the first time in a major international at Wembley, the officials all come from Iceland. The referee is Hreiðar Jónsson. It's a blustery night here for England's first home game in this European Championship. The pitch very much on the soft side. And Bobby Robson has given his side 2 tasks here. First of all, to win. Secondly, to win convincingly. No question that in this group, goal difference might be the final decider. And perhaps an opportunity here for England to improve their start to the European Championship in that particular capacity. Ken Sansom wearing number 3. Luxembourg will mark man for man at the back, and it's Bossy quickly in on Tony Woodcock. Tony Woodcock with 3 goals in his last 2 international appearances. England have the throw. Ken Sansom looking to take it long, and the delay was while Alvin Martin got forward to join Terry Butcher on the near post. It's Butcher who makes contact. And a good save by Merce. Blissett claims it was over. And it looks as though the England players feel that they've taken the lead. It was Blissett who got the final touch. As the referee goes across the talk to the linesman, Butcher flicked it on. And as Merce made the first save from Mabbott, it was Blissett who tucked it back. Was it over the line? The referee in the end said no. Merce punches again. England were hoping so much to get an early goal, not just to settle their own composure, but to stop any restlessness in the crowd. Because although Luxembourg, of course, amongst the weakest of the European nations, they can point to results like just a 1-goal defeat in Italy last year. But it was the despairing lunge from Jean Merce in Luxembourg's goal that in the end the referee said did enough to keep out Blissett's effort. Robson's pass, and Blissett is free here, but can't hit the target. But encouraging space for England to create. Luxembourg playing with just 2 men forward. Their intention here is not just to sit behind the ball. Their coach Louis Pilot is looking for them to try and play the ball around when they do get possession. And that sense of adventure might suit England as well. Brian Robson, captain at Wembley for the first time. Luxembourg retreat in front of him. And Blissett making a move off the ball, but lost his marker completely. But on that occasion, Roman plugged the gap. Again, both central defenders are forward. And it looks as though they're concentrating on the near post, Martin and Butcher. And it's Martin, comfortable for Merce, who'd stayed on his line, from Alvin Martin's header. Woodcock. Now Robson on his stronger foot. Merce can only beat it out. Now Blissett. In the end, the offside was provided for Luxembourg by Johnny Clemens, the number 6. But Robson really stinging the goalkeeper's fingertips. It was an unorthodox save from Jean O'Merce, but he got away with it because Blissett couldn't convert the rebound. Guy Hellers, the 18-year-old. Gires taking over. Hellers again. Now Weiss, harried by Mabbutt. Luxembourg being forced back as they keep possession. The extra touches on the ball will help their confidence. Eventually Mabbutt gets the tackle in, and that's really what he's in the side to do. And it's Lee who frees Koppel. Robson wins it back. Blissett is onside. Robson going to the near post. And an own goal of the strangest nature. Bossy shakes his head. He drove the ball back, trying to clear it, and it went in off the goalkeeper. So England make the breakthrough, but in a way they could hardly have expected. Blissett's cross, Bossy's clearance, it hit Merce, it's an own goal. England lead after 17 minutes. But poor Luxembourg here. They had problems enough at the start without conceding a goal like that. Butcher. Two front runners moving ahead of him. But Butcher very disappointed in his efforts to find the pass. Could hardly have been further off target. Sanson with the throw. The amount of litter on the pitch again reflecting the windy conditions. Merce hesitated. Koppel makes it two. As Luxembourg stood and waited. The goalkeeper started to come off his line. Steve Koppel was not so hesitant. Got in front of the marker and planted the header into the corner. And Koppel, who's not scored in his last 17 internationals, is back on target for England again. His last goal was in May 1980 against Scotland. And he's made it 2-0 here. 22 minutes gone. Mabbutt. Well, certainly the crowd came here tonight, really not one of Wembley's biggest, but they came here tonight in anticipation that England would provide goals for them. They've seen 2 goals in the game's first quarter, and probably some of them still arguing that Luther Blissett should have been given a third. Sanson. Good turn from Blissett. There's Weiss, who was tackling back. Butcher making his way forward, Martin there as well. It's Woodcock who's waiting on the far post as we look. It went beyond Woodcock in the end. And he manipulates another corner for England. And every time the ball is played across the face of the goal in the air, Luxembourg look in severe difficulties. Dreshto, this time meeting it on the near post. Fine ball by Neil. Here's Koppel. England just waiting to provide the touch in the middle. Arthur Blissett, with club and now with country, does get into good scoring positions. But if there has been a criticism of his game, he doesn't finish a high proportion of the chances that come his way. And just look how many players England had waiting to turn in Coppell's cross, but Blissett put it over. And the lack of quality in the opposition, at times giving England players a chance to have too many touches in possession. Mabbutt again doing his job. This is Coppell. And Blissett, goal kick. The linesman was flagging anyway. It may well be that Luther Blissett was offside. But it was interesting again to see Gary Mabbutt winning the ball for England. Coppell played it in towards the near post, but Blissett had gone offside. Butcher, the header that drops here for Sansom. Played half away by Giddes. England switch direction, and here's Neil. Blocked by Di Domenico. Coppell on a run. Cross doesn't get past Clemens. England add to their tally of corners. Martin. 3-0, Tony Woodcock. And the marking at the corner, well short of international standard. Coppell's corner. Alvin Martin unattended, and Tony Woodcock right on his own. It's Woodcock's 11th goal for England. And he's on target here for the third successive international. Giddes. Reiter moving more freely now, linking up with Hellers. And Reiter again, and Clement started to come, went back on his line. In the end, it's a goal kick. And Reiter with a little show of temper, presumably against the challenge from Sansom. It looked for a moment as though Clements might be called into action for the first time in this first half. Sansom. Martin. Now Lee. This is Neil. For Robson. And for Woodcock. And Blissett surely this time. Well, he's miskicked it in. For Blissett, it's gone almost everywhere except the back of the net in the first 45 minutes. And when he was left with the most open of goals, even then the touch wasn't sure. But it crept over the line almost apologetically. Woodcock caught Luxembourg square here. And Blissett slapped at it. It came off the toe and bobbled in. So he gets a goal in his first full international, played here as a substitute for just 9 minutes against West Germany. To the delight, I'm sure, of the many family that have come as his guests tonight. And it means that England now lead 4-0 with a goal in the last minute of the first half. Sansom. from Woodcock. Now Blissett. Clemens felt that Blissett had dived and was trying to attract the referee's attention to that point, but the free kick has been given. Steve Coppell, the England player who's joined the wall. Now will Lee have a crack here as he did in Greece? Robson over the ball with Blissett. England waiting their moment. And it may well be that they'll run out of time. It is half-time, in fact. But Luxembourg, as expected, have come as lambs to the slaughter. The referee allowed play to go on and adjudged here that Merce made a save when it may well be that the ball had crossed the line. And Luxembourg using a substitute for the second half. It's Alain Nuremberg. And it looks as though Marcel Di Domenico is the player he's replaced. So Luxembourg can hardly be looking forward to the next 45 minutes. Perhaps one target for England. 7 goals they scored here against Austria in 1973. They're on the attack straight away from the kickoff. Woodcock finding his effort stopped by Roman, painfully too. Lee with the corner. Alvin Martin, and Bossy just got there as Gary Mabbutt threw himself at the ball. Robson. Here's Butcher. Blissett. Defensive work by Johnny Clemens, spoiled by the pass. Clemens perhaps grateful for the involvement. Woodcock. First time touch from Mabbutt, and now Robson. Half stop by Roman, and Blissett looks another chance wide. Rather adding up to a catalogue of misses for him. It must be said that it came quickly across the face of the goal. Robson involved initially. It broke here for Coppell. Blissett stretching. Couldn't divert it onto the target. Robson has come down to the touchline from his seat in the stand, and the first consequence of that is that Mark Chamberlain is warming up. Butcher. Butcher again. Woodcock making that run that he favours into that channel down the left-hand side, but Roman was the master then. Weiss. And here's Nuremberg. England for once caught a little square. And Luxembourg's first real shot in anger. Clements dropping to his right by the near post. And it's come after 62 minutes from Alain Nuremberg, the substitute. Woodcock. Now Mabbutt. And Woodcock is onside this time. The angle widening by the second as the ball ran away from him, but Blissett puts it in. Woodcock's shot coming back off the bar. The second for Blissett. He found himself in the right place again. It seemed to be getting more and more difficult for Woodcock from this angle. He hit it with real power off the underside of the bar. And it came down perfectly for Blissett. And England haven't scored 5 goals at Wembley since Luxembourg were last here in 1977. But courtesy of Luther Blissett, it's 5 now. And England are looking to make their first substitution of the night. And it adds to the interest of the evening, really, because Mark Chamberlain will come on for his first taste of senior international football, replacing Steve Coppell. Chamberlain, in his first season of First Division football with Stoke City, he came into the under-21 setup, and now his skills are on show at the full level. Chamberlain has immediately come wide on the right, as expected. He's got just over 20 minutes. Robson brought down by Reiter. Certainly been a game without any animosity. Robson again. Now Butcher. Into the feet of Woodcock. He was allowed to turn this time. Sansom. Well, both for club and country, he does get into that position quite often. And he's still, at this level, looking to finish such a move. Complete miscue at the end. All the time that Alvin Martin wants. Plenty of movement ahead of Butcher here. Sansom. With one touch from Woodcock. Sansom linking up again. Roman unable to carry it to safety. Robson. Here's Woodcock. Chamberlain had gone to the near post. Sansom. Finally played in by Butcher. It's a goal that Mark Chamberlain takes the credit for. They all jumped together, but it was Chamberlain who headed it into the corner. He's been on the field barely 5 minutes in his first international. Terry Butcher supplying the cross. Well, he was hardly brought on to do that. It's 6-0, a moment that Mark Chamberlain will never forget. Finding himself in a central position, and Merce stranded on his line. It's 6-0, and England prospering here through the new brigade. So after a rather dead period at the start of the second half, England have found their way again. And they're running out of room on the scoreboard. Woodcock. One-sided it may be, but those who have made the journey to Wembley tonight are thoroughly enjoying it now. Lee, who handled. May well give the referee a chance to notice that England want to make their second substitution. His attention hasn't been attracted yet. And Glenn Hoddle, whose omission caused something of a stir, will get a taste of the action in place of his Tottenham teammate Gary Mabbott. But not for a moment. Chamberlain. Meunier. On from Blissett. Here's Chamberlain. Roman's drawn out of the middle. And Chamberlain passed him so easily. Well, that moment alone, many of the crowd will take away with them as a special memory. But now England can introduce Hoddle. Abbott, who's not been fully fit with thigh trouble. But Glenn Hoddle, for so many, the enigma of the English game. He's back in the full international scene for the first time since he played against Kuwait in the World Cup. There are 15 minutes of this match left. And if the second substitution works as well as the first, Bobby Robson will be well pleased. Butcher. Roman has played Sansom onside. Seemed to be half-tripped, Kenny Sansom. If he'd gone down, it would have been possibly a penalty. But his whole attention was focused on the ball and his attempts to try and get in the cross. Now Robson. Bossy was the defender who was caught short. Robson. Off the inside of the post and out. Nurse was nowhere near it. And Robson can reflect on the narrowest of misses. Completely lost Bossy on the turn. But no luck for the England captain. Neil. Pass Nuremberg. Woodcock, again using the first touch to good effect. Here's Neil. And Woodcock. It was a move that deserved the finish. Woodcock playing his part there with a superb layoff. Neil linking up, and then Woodcock flinging himself for the header that sped wide. Meanwhile, Luxembourg have a free kick. The problem, the ball being moved by the wind. And given the difficulties in the conditions, England can look back on this match with some pleasure. Never has been a contest. Again, I don't think anyone really expected that it would be. England's task was to score goals here, and they've accomplished that. Tellez. Sansom. Now Lee. Reiter chasing in. Martin. Look at Phil Neal, as if to say you might have played it a little more firmly in my direction. And it's Lee, who's the furthest England player forward in this attack, hooked out by Dresch. Neal. Now Hoddle, quickening the tempo. Good turn by Woodcock. He was trying to just slip it through for Robson. Roman again was the crucial defender who denied Tony Woodcock or forced the error from him. Robson. Woodcock sensing possibilities again. Blissett's in the middle. It's the hat-trick! Well, it could have been a night when they might have remembered the misses by Blissett in the first half, but now they'll remember that on his first full appearance for his country, he's got a hat-trick, a close-range header here from Woodcock's cross. Woodcock withstanding the challenge from Bossy, and from then on it was a formality for Blissett. It's 7-0. And you remember the 5 goals Malcolm McDonald scored against Cyprus. That was the last time that an England player got 3 or more in a full international. And to find the previous 3-goal tally before that, you have to go back to the days of Geoff Hurst. Hurst just touching it away. Hoddle, 8-0. One from the Glenn Hoddle repertoire. Little reminder for the England manager, because that was quality finishing in any context. Guided back by Robson, no nonsense with the volley, and you have to have superb technique to do that, and there's no doubting the technique of Hoddle, even though he was stretching. So England chalk up the 8th. And there are 2 minutes left. And it's becoming hard to keep count of it all. Well, it wasn't the most commercial international on paper. The Football Association even asked Bobby Robson to take part in their advertising campaign to get a crowd here tonight. Those who have ventured out in the middle of December, when they might have stayed by the firesides, have seen a match that they'll remember. Not for the nature of the contest, but for the night that England found the target. Woodcock with a bit of a handoff. Nuremberg. England having to do some defending for a change. Neil. Robson. Now Neil. And Phil Neal is on the score sheet, because you'll have a job to take that one away from him. It started with a strange goal here tonight of the goalkeeper, and it looks as though it's finished that way. Technically, Neil's attempted cross here would have gone in, I feel. Merce, diving there, made sure that it did. In 1961, when Bobby Robson was a player, England won 9-0 in Luxembourg, and now Robson's team have emulated that achievement. And the England manager had 2 objectives here tonight. First of all, to get the victory, and secondly, to win convincingly, and you can hardly ask for a more convincing scoreline than that.
What a scoreboard, and what a wonderful night for England, even allowing for the limitations of Luxembourg. Their biggest win ever at Wembley, The last time they scored 9 there was in the 9-3 win over Scotland in 1961. But it leaves the group table with England at the top and with a 14-2 goal difference. Important that. England's next game at Wembley is against Greece, March the 30th. But what about a view now from the England manager, Bobby Robson? He's talking to Jim Rosenthal.
Well, I think it was a carnival atmosphere at the end of the evening. I'm sure the crowd have gone home quite delighted. You know, I mean, it was spectacular in some situations. It was full of thrills, and there was a bit of fun about the place, I thought. We could have even had more, but I mean, we're not complaining. And I would think that everyone who's been here tonight and paid decent money have had more than a decent performance from us, and I think that's important.
It's very hard to criticise a team who's won 9-0, but can you pick out any things that didn't really please you here tonight?
Well, it would be hard, I think, to criticise. You can't steam it at half-time or at full-time when you're 4 and you're 9 up and say, well, although we did go for 10, I mean, at half-time we said, look, you know, without being egotistical, let's set ourselves a target and let's see if we can get 10, let's see if we can hit double figures. And we're just a shade away, so they failed, haven't they?
Against